Hello.
Hi there, Mike.
Hi, Cathy. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing very well. This here with me is Steven, aka Saberspark.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome, thanks.
All right, so we are live. Everybody in the chat say hello. Everybody's saying hi and yay and etc.
Hello, hello, hello.
So how have things been? How's Vancouver been treating you?
Oh, very well. It's been really, really busy, and I've been just enjoying it, but just trying to balance a bunch of things. It's been a little bit crazy, but in a good way, so can't complain.
Has there been a lot of voicing going on?
There has been in my world, happily. Yeah, I pretty much have done the gamut lately, which of course includes cartoon sessions, but other voice work too, like the usual commercials and some video games, narration, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been keeping me hopping for sure.
Well, that's actually something a lot of people forget is that voiceover artists and voice artists or voiceover actors, voice actors, do a lot of advertising and a lot of radio commercials. That's actually how you got your start in it, isn't that right? Or
Yeah, actually, that is how I started. When I was working at the CBC years ago as an associate producer, the host of the show offered to have me do some commercials for Vancouver City Mall at the time, and that's how I got into it. But the odd part was it wasn't commercial, but what he wanted me to do was background, Christmas elf voices. So it's kind of funny that that's the first commercial was actually cartoony in a way.
well, and I always love asking you at the panels of these conventions about the weirdest voice you've ever done because you did a drainage pipe voice one time, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I'm real proud
How
of
does
that.
that? How
Proud
does
of my drain pipe. It was a lot of schlocking. I mean, it was just the old kind of thing.
That sounds like me.
That sounds like my ex.
I know it could be. If you closed your eyes, you could imagine all sorts of things, but we shouldn't.
Well, so for everybody who's listening, of course, you're known for two roles in this show, in this little cartoon. I think it's called My Little Horsies Friendship is Special, something like that. Does that ring a bell?
A dull bell. Let's see. Horses. Ponies. Right. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
A dull bell. I guess that would be more of like a thud. Does that thud a bell?
It thuds a bell for sure. Yes. Quite a bright, sparkling bell these days. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What, and you play the mayor and you play Spike, and I should say too, it seems like the name Mayor has kind of become the semi-official name for the character.
Yeah, it has actually, and I don't know. I'm hoping to see more of her in the future, but yeah, she's got her own little identity, and it's been fun doing her voice as well as Spike's.
So that's canon now. Mayor's canon now.
Is what now?
Like I know, like sometimes with
Canon, yeah.
the show they'll take like the names and then they'll switch it for the toys. Like the fans will have a name for we'll call her Lyra, and then Hasbro's like, let's call her Bob Dylan instead. And the fans are like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, if we must.
You know what? Names like that are just blowing in the wind, Saber.
I don't know why I said Bob Dylan. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. It's okay. We're in cartoon land, so you can say almost what you want.
Silly things.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of fun, and the season is wrapping up, and I think people have a lot to look forward to. And,
yeah.
Including the convention circuit.
Yeah, and to season 3, I just have to say it's been fun to hop on board that, and for us too to get to remind ourselves of what those shows were, because we record them earlier and we don't see them animated until we sit down and do that. So it's always a treat for us to see everything put together and everybody communicating and how the artists put it together. It's really fun to see the final product because we're just doing the voicing.
Now, do you watch the show, say, on TV then when it comes out, or do you try and catch it online later, or
pretty much just because I'm usually on the busy side of things, I do try to catch it online afterwards. I mean, I think I might have caught a handful of episodes, but I haven't seen certainly haven't seen all the season 3s yet, but I'm hoping to catch up. So it's usually online when I can, take a moment to do it.
Well, and actually this season saw Spike doing some singing, which I know a lot of people were excited about.
Yeah, he's been throwing in a couple of little tunes there and here and there, so it's been fun to do. Yeah, it's fun to watch that because I too again forget, and then I see the episode and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that now. So
Spike's been. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
Sam.
I was going to say Spike's been hilarious this season. I mean, the episode with the Timberwolves and the pets. I mean, he's been picked up the comedy routine. It's been great.
yeah, no, you know what I'm finding too. If you're watching through all the seasons up to season 3 so far, what I find is fun for me to act is that Spike always just is in his own little world, and he just sees himself as so brave and so noble. And meantime, the ponies will, for example, in that episode you just mentioned, I mean, they're thinking they're pulling the wool over his head because he's such a baby. He's just a little guy. Meanwhile, he's just like, what are you doing? Like, of course I can tell that. Look at this, look at that, look at this. So he's a lot smarter and often is the one who sort of solves the problem in the end. And I love when they play with that. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I love that they also play with him being kind of more of like an evil or devious character at times. I mean, obviously there was the episode where where he's the dragon Gree or whatever, where he's what is it?
And they destroyed half the town. Yeah, that's pretty devious.
No, but as like a character, it's fun to watch. And I'm trying to remember the name of the episode. I'm terrible.
It's Sweet. No, it's not Sweet and Elite.
It's not Sweet and Elite.
Oh,
Secret of My Excess.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and then there's also the one this season. With the pets. Oh my god.
That was so much fun.
Just for sidekicks.
Just for sidekicks.
Yes,
yeah.
I still need to watch the show one of these days.
Yeah, I think that's episode 11. We're already at episode 11 or 12 or something. But yeah, that was really fun to do too because I got to sort of do the little bit of singing there at the beginning. And the thing that I find is really interesting voicing Spike, even as an actor, versus maybe one of the ponies or even other characters, is that he is unique and different from the ponies, and so by that very nature, he's drawn differently. So the storyboards are going to focus on him as a sidekick, as a comic relief, as something different than the ponies. And so it's really interesting when I give a run of the script of what I imagine it to be, that the directors can come back and agree with that, or they can move it around or change him or go even in a bit of a different direction. And, you realize as time goes by that because Spike is so different, he has different facial reactions and little gags he does, and so I have to put in more of a cuteness and a boyishness, and a lot of those twists and turns and facial expressions get drawn, and the directors have the storyboard. So it always surprises me if I go one direction and they take it completely differently or whatever, but they have the storyboard in front of them, so they actually see how it's supposed to play out, whereas I have to do some guesswork at that. So it's always interesting and exciting for me because you never know what to expect with Spike's little personality,
Well, and I also love that they have, they have moments in the show, like for example in Lesson 0, where he's almost the voice of reason, where he's kind of like, scolding Twilight for overreacting or whatever.
Right, yeah. He's and that's what I think is so interesting, that they have built him to be the voice of wisdom at times, or the grounding force, when all the ponies are playing these noble, virtuous roles because of the elements and what they represent, and then Spike comes in and just kind of grounds the whole thing, and he doesn't even aware that he does. So I think that's also the beauty of the show, where these morals and values are just instilled in him as instincts, because he's just a little guy and he doesn't know any different. Whereas when we get older, we tend to think things through, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, and that's what the ponies find themselves that they get into, are these conflicts. He just goes with his instincts, so it's kind of fun to watch it turn out for him.
One of my favorite phrases that my mom taught me is the phrase "liberal arts majoring a situation," overthinking it. I think that's what a lot of the pony characters, especially Twilight for that matter,
yeah.
And in a sense, he's kind of like the voice of, come on, get real.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I was actually. I'm still kind of new to this thing. It's like Jav and you are so natural at talking. I'm like, I got a question. Just throw my hand up in the air.
Well, Cathy and I go back. We
go back at least a few months.
I have a thought. No,
Mr. Mike. So.
And it's Mr. Spike. See, there we go. We got it this time.
I'm sorry for interjecting, but when it comes to voice acting like Spike or other characters, how much elbow room do you have for exploring them? Do they just say, here's the character, now go crazy, or is it pretty specific on what you're supposed to act like? Or
Oh, I'd love to go crazy if we could. That would be amazing. Well, we can go crazy at times in certain scenes where, the actor, no matter what, does have to interpret every script and every scene. So when we start out, we have an audition. We're given the general specs of the character, his age, his mannerisms, his habits, some of his quirks. And then the actor has to make that whatever they imagine it to be and then present their choice in the audition. So you're hoping that what you're doing is matching what the clients want. And oftentimes that's the case, and oftentimes it isn't. So the director has a play in trying to translate what the clients want and then relaying that to you. So if you do get the job and things match that way, then you do have still only a general sense when you begin the series as to how that plays out. And then as time goes by with every new script, the writers, I just continually say how wonderful they are. And it's just like having a good meal when you're an actor and you have great writing. It's so easy for us to perform. So the good writing sort of also is easy for us to interpret. We understand better when the writing is really smooth what the clients want. So there's not as much interpretation as there could be. But there's always a dance as to the actor making the choice, presenting it, and then the clients and directors taking you this way or that way. If there's a scene where there's a lot of reactions and he's falling down a hill or he's jumping or he's crashing or whatever, then I have to make that funny or I have to make that visual so that the animators can draw to it. So there's play in those kinds of things, but we cannot add words. We can add chuckles and sighs, but we can never add words. So we're pretty beholden to the script otherwise.
All right.
Can you imagine an unleashed Andrea Libman? I'm just
I know an unleashed Andrea Libman. So.
Can you imagine?
I know. I mean, when I saw the Pinkie, I can't remember the titles either. I'm pretty bad with that. But the Pinkie Pie episode, where
Too many Pinkies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was like, holy crow! Now I know what I remember what it was like to have too much candy floss, right? And it was pink. So, but no, it's great. I mean, there are episodes where we do have to scream a lot, and that really takes a load off your throat. So we have to go in with lozenges or warm water, because honestly, in one big session, you can really, tax that throat of yours, and you have to know how to do that without hurting it for the next day.
Does Spike's voice do that to you, like, naturally when you're doing Spike's voice? Is that more of a taxing voice to do than, say, the mayor's voice, or is it just the yelling that does that?
Well, it's not so taxing to stay in the character, because I have done so many boy voices in other ranges, being a character actor, but it is always when one has to scream that you have to be careful how you do it. If I'm screaming in my bass voice, which is what you're hearing now, and then just altering it to be the mayor of the town, who's a little bit more projected and a little bit more formal, then it's still my bass voice. So when I yell in it, I know how to sort of, it's a natural place to yell. But if I'm already putting my voice in Spike's area like that and talking like that, then I have to go there, hold it, and then I have to yell from there. So I'm already in a different range that's not natural, and I have to be careful also how I scream with him. So it's just a matter of technique after a while and feeling comfortable with it. But regardless, it's kind of important to use the diaphragm and not from your neck to scream, or you're going to, get yourself a headache and probably make your throat raw by the end of the session.
Yeah, well, and I should say, too, that, when you're talking about the different ranges of yeah, and I'm going to use the wrong terminology here, but when you're talking about your bass voice, et cetera, I think it's important for people to remember that you actually do teach voice work. That's part of your career, is that you...
Yes, I've been doing that, Mike, now for, I guess a good 20 plus years. So, and actually all of you probably have thought that was my normal voice you just heard, but I think this is it, actually.
That was one of my favorite moments of Evergreen Northwest on the How to Voice Act panel, where it just devolved into, when you get enough voice actors in the same room, that's just what's going to happen. It devolves into the throwing voices around. But we had all you guys going with the, the senior citizen voices. That cracked me up.
Oh yeah, well, you get us all going, and it's just too late at that point. You can't stop us. So well, I tell you, I know I exhaust myself, so I can just imagine what everyone else feels like after we get together and just go for it. But it's a lot.
Get exhausted from laughing because it's hilarious.
It charges you up too. But I think the scenes where you're always yelling and calling out, that can be taxing. You can feel it at the end of the day.
Well, and there's going to be another one of these kinds of panels actually at Las Vegas later.
Yes, there is.
And I've seen who's on it, and you are going to be on it, of course. And I mean, I'm excited to see what the whole convention's looking good because there's just so many people that are going to be there that haven't been to any of these conventions before. I mean, I know that Brenda's been to one. Brenda Critchell has been to one convention so far, but I know that Marika Hendricks is going to be at this convention. She's never.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's going to be some great new people there, and it's just fun for us too to see our colleagues and to just share in all the joy because it's expanding the show. And I mean, certainly the roles have expanded since season 1, and there's just so many ponies out there now.
I know, right?
You know, so many ponies, and like I always marvel at how the fans do know every single character or many of the characters, and then can discern them. You know, it's just amazing. So we sometimes we're doing like our own characters so much that we see our fellow actors or some of the incidental actors or the guests that come in, and then you see them at the conventions. You're like, well, which one were you doing again? Like, who was like we get confused ourselves because, you know, the main cast, of course, we're always there, but you get confused because, you know, they come in, they come out, and it's always fun to then revisit that and also see it animated. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time.
Well, and Saber, you're a fan of not just obviously Pony, but also of certain anime that Miss Weseluck works.
Yes.
Saber is a big fan of Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, go.
Yep, our two of my friends and I we were not live streaming, but we were watching Black Lagoon together, and I forget the name of the character because I'm new to the series actually. So, but I did hear your voice. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's Cathy, isn't it? And they're like, yes, it's Cathy Weseluck. I'm like, apparently a lot of you Vancouver voice actors do a lot of anime.
Oh, we've been doing. In fact, I won't say. I'm trying to go back to even remember the very first cartoon I did. But I started anime quite early, and I guess it would have been 91 that I started. And Ranma 1/2 was the first one that I did, which was a very big show. But we did a big series. But we've done all kinds of smaller anime, little shows that probably never made the charts, even before Shampoo, even before Ranma 1/2. And we also used to do a heck of a lot of ADR shows, which is what we're talking about, lip syncing English into originally foreign cartoons. They could be, but we did several other countries. It wasn't just Japanese back in the day. So we did Germany, we did Italy, we did, oh my gosh, all kinds of different countries. And then of course the Japanese market just became so big, that it kind of took over. But it was fun to explore the other realms too, and just to see the differences in the animation. It was really, really interesting.
What I think is fun is that, you know, a lot of you guys have, say, worked on Pony together. Like, I know that you and, obviously, you and Marika and Tabitha all worked on Pony together. But then you also have worked on other shows in the past. Like, all three of you were on Black Lagoon. And, I mean, it's just these kind of... It's always interesting for fans who are a little bit too involved in the show, like myself, when you're going and say... Like, I mentioned this story to you. I think I was telling you this last time I was in Vancouver. I was watching on Netflix a Thor animation.
Right.
And suddenly Brunhilde is speaking. I said, where have I heard this voice before? And then I get to the credits and it says Cathy Weseluck. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It's just crazy how much, you know, tie-in there is. And I think
we're hiding everywhere, Mike.
You're in the woodwork.
Oh, we're very much in the woodwork. I mean, I have said this before, but I have also played thousands of roles, literally. I mean, incidentals and primary roles. I mean, I came in the same year Scotty McNeil did. And I think we were both on the same, I think the very first, we auditioned and came into this world on the same show, which was called Kissifer. And it was a show that actually was, I think it originated in LA and then they wanted to do it up here. And it never did fly past, I think, the promo. But I played a goose called Bessie the Goose, and I don't even know what Scotty did, but that's where we met on years and years and years and years ago. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of shows, and it's really amazing when I go back and I think of everything. It's just like how much time went by. Wow, you know. So we're happy, and I'm happy and fortunate to still be doing it. It's great.
And Scott McNeil is someone I've always wanted to meet. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. I need to fix that.
Well, I'm sure you will one day.
One of these days. Well, yeah. I mean, so we got this Vegas convention coming up, and
Yeah.
just so I can continue speaking over Saber here. No, he's been so quiet.
I'm being good because the way I look at it is, as long as the conversation's flowing, then everything's going well.
That's good.
And that's why I just totally stopped it right there.
You know what you got to do though. You got to shut me up once in a while. Saber.
No, here's a question about Vegas. When we last spoke to Andrea, we asked her what she was looking forward to, not just about the con, but about the city itself. Do you have any plans for Vegas at all?
Well, I'm a really big, I have to confess, I absolutely love Cirque du Soleil. I've seen so many of them. And the reason I like Cirque du Soleil is because of, again, it's an absolute show of excellence. And I admire performers who work so hard, who have to have focus. You know, life and death relies on every one of their moves, and then working together as a group, the respect they have for their own bodies, each other, the dynamics, the timing. It's really quite miraculous. So I love Cirque du Soleil, and I've seen quite a few shows. But I mean, as far as the time frame, I really don't know how much time we're going to have outside of the convention to see much. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to see anything during this stint. This will be the very first time I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to Reno on a stopover to another convention many, many years ago, but I've not been to Las Vegas. So I'm looking forward to it because I've just heard so much about it.
I've never been to Vegas either. This is my first time too.
Neither have I.
I'm excited.
Oh, well, look at that. A lot of firsts for everybody.
Well, and you're not the first of the voice actors I've spoken to who's spoken so highly of Cirque du Soleil. I think the Creepers were telling me the same, and they came to town. They came to Minneapolis like a few years ago, and I didn't get a chance to see them then. I'm gonna have to make a point to now.
You know, I'm a big, I'm just a big suck, and I really like to reward, you know, people who commit themselves to whatever their vocation is. And it doesn't have to be something so popular or public or spectacular, you know, on stage as something like that show. I mean, as I've always said before, every single person has got their talents, even if it's being kind to somebody else. And the simple things are really, really what's important. But it's the commitment and the intention that you put behind something that really is what translates. So it doesn't even matter how grand something is in the eyes of everybody else. But I really love to see people working hard and just really committing themselves to whatever it is, whether it's a hobby or a project or even a career, and even to each other. I think I'm going back to the theme of friendship is magic, aren't I, Mike? It's like I shed a tear. Oh no. I think this might have created a new voice. I don't know what that was.
That was, I have. There are jokes I could make. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
There are jokes I could make, but then I would pay for them later. And
well, you know, it's funny. I almost went into what I was doing. I don't think I can do this. No, there's certain days where I wake up and my voice is still hoarse, and I can do the seagull and this small yapping dog, but then it goes away through the day.
A seagull.
I can do a seagull. It's just like I can't even. It's not there. It's not there right now. But it's the funniest thing. You know, sometimes when we just wake up and our voice quality is a certain way, you can do these sound effects. Anyway, so how's your mom?
She's doing well. She actually just
Excellent.
She just started work on an art project actually involving Spike.
No way.
Totally.
No way.
Totally.
No way.
She might even be listening right now. I'm not sure, but if she is, there you go, Mom. I think everybody wants you to do Spike artwork.
Oh, right. I think we need more Spike artwork. Don't you guys think that? Hey. I hear applause in the background. Yeah, more Spike. More Spike.
There you
Speaking
go.
of which, I would love to make a plea because I'm looking to have some art done for my anime characters. And I would love to, if anyone's interested in pitching something like that to me, I'd be curious because I want to sort of do more of that. And I am going to the odd anime cons as well, but I'm really needing to get that done. So if anyone's out there and wants to share their talents with me, I'm thinking in particular of Cyber6 and Shampoo, Nier. I don't know so much about Dorothy Catalonia or even Garcia, but I mean, whatever's popular out there, it's fun. You know, I have to tell you, I'm so blown away by all the fans' creativity. The quality is just amazing. And through the internet, it's just so accessible to see. And I just think it's fantastic. There's so many talented people out there.
Well, you know, you and I should talk then because I think I know somebody who is specifically talented at anime.
Oh,
so.
you're
Are saying
flattering
what-
me.
Are you talking to me? Are you saying we should talk again?
I think we may need to talk a little bit.
Because I haven't been home to the Bronx in a long time, and I was just thinking about going back there. But, there's people that just, I don't know, that just, sometimes it's hard to get a flight down there. You know what I'm saying? There's supposed to be a storm coming in, too, tonight.
Yeah, I heard that.
I wanted to see if you would go into that voice.
I'm trying.
Jump in.
She challenges me. Saber, on these panels. She'll just like, Mike, will you speak the Russian? I'm like, all
Oh
right.
my gosh, don't get me going to the Russian one again.
We will talk
Because-
like the Russians. This is how it is for
right.
Mike.
Oh my gosh, now I am hungry for Russian food.
Vodka.
That's your impression.
Now your turn to do a voice now, Saber.
Yeah, you got to do a voice.
It's nice to meet you, Cathy. I go by the name of Lightning Hoof. I'm a big fan. And
That sounds like a totally awesome clown, right? I'm just saying, I knew a guy at Cirque du Soleil. He was a clown, right? Guy's name was Bimbo. He was real good, eh?
I concur.
There's almost a crow coming out of you, too.
That or a midget getting strangled. Strangled. So, what's the word when you choke somebody? Choke. That's the word I was looking for. A midget getting choked.
You know what it's like to choke someone?
How do you think I put my way through college?
Yikes.
I used to be an assassin.
I see.
An assassin who kills midgets, apparently.
I
Wow.
hope that was in some performance of a cartoon, Saber.
No.
It should be. This guy is a living cartoon. He's hilarious.
Well, you can't have enough fun. That's what I say. You can't have enough fun.
Well, yeah. No, I'm really looking forward
Tell
to
that to frat guys.
He's gonna be at this at Vegas too. I'm really excited actually because there's just like for our group for EFN and all the people associated, we're gonna have the most EFN/associate/show people at any event yet.
Wow.
It's gonna be crazy, and we've got one of those like those suite and elite suites going on. I mean, of course, there's all the panels, and we're gonna stream it. I mean, it's just insane. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to at the convention? I mean, I know that you enjoyed like the artist alleys, that sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I just love Artist Alley. I think that it's so great to meet new people and see, what else is coming out of all of this. I mean, it just is exploding into all this talent, and it's great for me to see. I'm always so thrilled to meet the new fans and to see some of you guys that I've met before and my colleagues as well. I mean, it's just such a unique experience every time. Every convention has a different flavor and it morphs into different things, but every single time we have a great time. And I really have to hand it to the organizers. I haven't even had a personal time to thank them, but they're putting together such a big event, and it's been really busy on there. And so kudos to them. And, I appreciate the invitation. It's going to be great meeting them and you guys too.
Well, and in case any of them are listening now or later, I think that we need to make sure that they give you one of the security radios. For people who don't know, I don't know if the people know this, that you and Peter and Michelle at Camelot Gardens got on the security radios and just started doing the voices over the security radios, and it was one of the funniest moments of any of the conventions I've ever been to.
Well, it was kind of like, that game of telephone when you just pick up the telephone and you sort of say a word into it and it catches, but it's not really like it creates its own monster as it goes along. And, so I don't remember I think it was, I'm trying to remember whose phone I initially swiped. I swiped a phone at, I think the last autograph session, and just asked if the person would mind if I just talked to his staff, because it was winding down the convention. People were getting tired, and they knew it was coming to an end, and it was getting a little bit blue. So I thought, what the heck, let's have a little fun. So for those that don't know, I began speaking as Spike and asking if where the gemstones were at the con, because I couldn't find any and I was getting hungry. And so the next thing you know, they're all telling me, and then the next thing you know, then Peter New gets in and hears this, and then I start, asking for. I think I was starting to ask for Michelle, and she got on, and then we had this big game of hide and go seek. They were trying to find me, and it was crazy. But you never know what's going to happen.
Well, it was.
You got to be ready.
It was funny, and this is also something that like for me, like it was my favorite moment of the convention. She was on the radio when you were on the radio, Cathy, and I think we were right outside the artist alley, and this is gonna be the worst impression of Spike ever, but you're like,
No worries.
yeah, I know the Wonderbolts. Can somebody contact the Wonderbolts? I'd like to go for, I think, what did you say, like a fly around town or something like that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I had my phone with me, and one of my students, Joey, is a huge Spike fan. Like he's one of my students who's a Brony. He's actually now at college, and yeah, I'd never do this, but I asked Cathy if she could talk to him on the phone, so I called him up, and she went on the phone as Spike, and it was just one of my favorite moments of last year. It was just so much fun.
Well, I'm so glad I could help. I can't even say it enough how, my heartstrings are so pulled by the show and how it's affected everybody and brought so many people together that may not otherwise be brought together. And I think really that's what should happen in the world. And like I've said before, it's caused a community. And if it's done through joy and laughter and helping each other, then, it's a wonderful thing to be spreading, that's for sure.
And it just seems to, I mean, from my perspective, and Saber, you tell me if you agree on this, but it seems like it's still growing, like that the community is still becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, the real life portion, yeah. I mean, the conventions are popping all over the place. I think there's a lot of Bronies out there. Like, I don't think not even 10% of the entire Brony population has even been to a convention. So there's a lot of them out there who still want to go.
Wow, that's great.
That's actually something I noticed too when I was in Miami earlier this month, which was a smaller convention, but almost all of the Bronies that were there were local. They were from Southern Florida. They hadn't been to a convention before.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So,
well, it's great that we can go to these different locations because we're happy to meet everybody, and it would be nice one of these days to be able to go overseas as well and meet some people internationally, and hopefully they too can get a chance to come and visit us. It's a big world, but it sure is made smaller through the internet, isn't it?
Well, and the organizers of Vegas, of Las Pegasus, specifically their convention head Sandy, she told me that they have people registered that are coming to their convention from China, from Poland, where else? I think somebody from Ireland. There are people coming from all over. It's just crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
I know it's gonna be insane. Well,
I don't know how many people are scheduled to come, but I mean, my gosh, I'm just I don't know. Probably the walls are just going to start bending after time.
Well, I think that's that would be a good thing though. That just means that there's collected energy right in the same spot. It's gonna be great. These conventions are always chaotic, but way too much fun.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it will be nice to see everybody again, and as I said, I'm kudos to the organizers for pulling that together, and we're all looking forward to it. I just can't believe we're already in February, that it's going to be a couple of weeks and we're going to be there. Oh man, I got to hold on to my hat. There's too much to do between now and then.
Yeah, I know that feeling really well.
Oh man, I just feel like, as I said before, I haven't even had a chance to tweet much because I've just been so busy, but. Boy, if I could borrow some of, a pair of Rainbow Dash's wings or something, I'd really appreciate that right now.
Well, there you go. Well, I get the feeling, though, I mean, especially with Ashley's tweeting history, which she doesn't tweet, I get the feeling she wouldn't have time for it. She'd just, just take a nap instead or something. Well, and I talked to Brenda Critchlow once. I said, you could set up a Twitter and you get all these followers. And she goes, with what time, Mike? And I said, that's a very good question.
Well, that's the thing, too. If we're not on there, it has nothing to do with us not wanting to. It's just a matter of juggling and having so many hours in the day. And there's just times where that happens, where you're just motoring, and then you're realizing it's another day. So, I mean, that's good to have happen. But, there's always just life things that come up for us, too. So, but I'll try to be better. I guess that's what I'm saying, Mike.
Well, you make it sound like I put you on the spot there somehow.
No, it's just me wanting to do that more often. So, yeah.
Get it, Mike? Do you understand, Mike?
No. We appreciate everything, Mike.
Oh no, it's too much fun. Well, I won't take up too much of your time unless Saber, do you have any more questions for Miss Weseluck here?
None off the top of my head. I look forward to seeing you at Unicon.
You as well. It'll be great to meet you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to at least say hi for a moment before they drag us off elsewhere.
I
It's kind
know.
of, these things get so hectic, but and you and I will have to talk. You my people will talk to your people.
My people will talk to your people.
We'll do
sit
lunch.
over, maybe I don't know, a Harvey Wallbanger and or maybe just an orange juice. Okay, an orange
A bagel and lox. There's
and
nothing
talk.
wrong.
Yeah, we'll
There's nothing
talk
wrong
about
with
it.
a bagel and lox.
Bagel and lox. Yeah, that's right. I like bagel and lox.
Of course you do. Who doesn't? Saber doesn't. He's a crazy person.
Hummus.
Hummus. Hummus
Words.
is good. Hummus is good. But I have to admit, I better be careful what I say because I do like dark chocolate Milky Way bars, and I said that, and I ended up getting quite a bunch at a convention last time.
Really?
And by the way, thank you, everybody. Oh, yeah, because we can't get them in Canada, you see.
Really?
Yeah, we can't.
To totally to your advantage, you'd be like, I love diamonds, lots and lots of diamonds.
No.
You know, especially the ones that are set in gold. 24 karat.
Yeah, right. Since that's going up in the stock market, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
good. It's just gonna be great to see you guys.
so you guys heard it first. Kathy totally doesn't want you to know that she
No.
likes dark chocolate Milky
No.
Ways.
No, truly, I thank everybody, but it was I'm just saying that I have to be careful what I ask for because, things can happen. And it was very generous last time. And you guys, all of you out there are just so generous with your kindness, your compliments, your support. I totally appreciate that. And as being an actor, when we're working together on these shows, we always marvel at the results when we hear the fans respond and tell us what they think of it. So it's really nice to hear that. That's part of the whole thing. And as I've said before, it would be nothing without the fans. So we really appreciate the support from all you guys out there.
Yeah.
And that includes girls.
And I should say too, coming from my perspective, thanks for all the hard work you guys put into the show because that's what makes it amazing, honestly.
Oh, well, it's so much fun, and everybody that is part of the show, from production to writers to coloration, everything is what makes this particular show so special because, like I've said before, I think somehow we've been able to come together with a set of people who really, it's reached a critical mass of excellence and goodness, and I've never seen people on all fronts working as hard and committed as hard as they are and have on this show. It's amazing. It's really unique, and it's really it's a dedicated working machine, and it's producing so much good. So let's keep her going.
And can I be shameless for one moment? Can I be utterly?
Sure.
When aren't you shameless?
Quiet, you.
I'm sorry. I won't use my speak tokens just yet.
No, I was just gonna say, can we get a quick bye from Spike for the audience because they've been asking.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so everybody wants to know what my favorite gemstone is. I do like fire rubies, there's no question about it, but it doesn't really matter because gemstones are all good. And I kind of was, I've been partial to the green emerald ones too lately, but hey, bring them on. They're all tasty. You guys should try them. You just don't get enough minerals in your body. Especially maybe you, Saber. No kidding.
What does fool's gold taste like?
Exactly. Oh, that would be crunchy. Anyway.
Artificial chocolate. No, I'm joking.
And by the way, Twilight, I can just kind of hear her in my mind's eye, and she's kind of saying, Spike, it's totally time to go to bed now, so I guess I better. So, hey, good night, everybody, and I hope to see you at Las Pegasus and wherever else in the future. Keep watching.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Honestly, it's been a real treat.
My pleasure. Can't wait to meet those of you I've met again and new people, and we'll look forward to addressing the fans too through your streaming. So thanks for the opportunity, and great chatting with you guys tonight.
Thank you, Cathy. I am drunk.
You're not drunk. You're just tired.
Oh, sigh.
Oh, Cathy, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Take care, you guys, and thanks again.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
I love that. And why would you say in the middle of a
spaghetti, 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 struggling with midgets. Cathy, full gold artificial chocolate. What's wrong with me? Why?
You fine.
I was so good with Andrea Lemon, and for some reason I was just, I don't know why. I love Cathy. We had drinks together at Candlelight Gardens, and yet for some reason I clammed up.
You know what? You did fine.
I'm gonna bring her a big old plate of spaghetti and be like, "Do you remember me from the live stream? Cathy, midget choking Assassin's Creed joke that doesn't make any sense."
You know what? Honestly, I don't think she'd get like if you gave her a plate of spaghetti, she probably would be like, "Well, I love Italian food. Thank you."
See, I'm really good with talking. Like, let's say, like right now, I'm good right now. When it comes to the voice actors of the show, that's still some frontier for me. I don't know how to really get in there and talk.
You know what? My problem is that I overtalk them.
No, well, the thing is, I want them to feel comfortable, and I know they're very comfortable with you, and I love that, and I love being able.
You're saying Sabergetti.
No, Sabergetti. It's just God, thanks, Cathy. Oh God, in the back of my head, I'm like, Saber, no. Thanks, Cathy. Well,
It was fine.
No,
it was fine.
She's such a cool person. I love Cathy. Apparently, I love caffeine because that's what I was thinking.
Is that what you said, caffeine? Because I heard Cathy, and I was.
Here's my problem: is whenever I mess up, I addressed it immediately. It's like I could let it slip, and I'm like, nope, better stop right now. I'm the goddamn parent.
Oh my God!
I got a lot to learn still.
You did fine, honestly.
Spaghetti. Well, that one part that got me, it's like, I used to. I was walking the fine line of so many sexual innuendos. I'm like, yeah, I used to choke midgets, and I'm like, is that a sexual innuendo?
Nobody thought that until you just said it now.
I'm like splatting my marinara sauce all over the place. That's a sexual innuendo too, apparently. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I used to struggle midgets.
Saber, dig upwards. Dig upwards.
I just hope she's not listening right now.
She might be, and you're going Scotty.
No, I love Cathy. She's great.
I love her. She's honestly like I've met with her, outside of conventions once or twice too, and I mean at the conventions I try to spend what time I can, and it's just she's just such a nice person, and she's one of those like natural teachers,
yeah,
right?
She is.
She really
is.
At
Candlelight Gardens, when we were all chatting at the hotel, she was going sociology on me.
That's right. You were there.
Yes, I was. I was going to tell her that, but I'm like, nah, I better not.
No, she honestly is one of the most philosophical and just
she
like
cares. She really does care.
She has deep thoughts about things. Honestly, and it's always just anytime I can set aside time to just sit down and have a conversation with Cathy Weseluck. I love doing that because she's just so. Yeah, she's one of those people that you just learn something from her by speaking with her. That's not true of everyone. In my case, you forget things when you hear from me when I talk, and you also, you feel dumber in general.
I feel like a freaking idiot.
You're fine.
See, I'm a man of the people. Like, I can talk to bronies, like, no problem. I can walk around as owing this. Put me in front of a panel but in front of 1,000 bronies, I can make them laugh. But you put me next to a voice actor from the show, which, I can talk to them casually, but when it comes to performing, it's like, oh, God. Hey, I'm the guy who would call them, like, M.A. Tabitha Weseluck Strong. I'm that guy. Great. Paleo, how's it going?
There he is. Look at that.
Paleo, I did horrible.
I was wondering why you didn't ask her about the thing that we did at Candlelight Gardens.
Because if I would have asked the question, it would have come out as in, so, Cathy, we got drunk and spoke...
No.
At cancer.
Saber.
Saber.
Dig upwards. Dig upwards,
I'm
Saber.
also overweight.
I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm also overweight and also read my fanfic. I love that you said the only voice. She's like, hey, do a voice. You do Lightning Hoof.
Well,
classic.
What am I gonna do? I like how that voice actually has a name now. Like it's like that's there. It's Lightning Hoof is there.
Well, she does this too. Like she's at panels. She challenges, like she challenges people to do voices. Like basically at like Everfree Northwest when they were doing that random voice thing. she was doing at one point she was doing a Russian accent, and she's like, "Well, Mike, you can do a Russian accent." I'm like, "Yes, I can do the Russian accent." It's part of the voice acting community to do that.
Oh.
So anyway, I'm now the third wheel, Paleo. I'm gonna show up.
I dissected a squid this week.
I dissected my spaghetti.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that you were going to be here till the last minute, so I couldn't warn people.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't know that you guys were going to do it at 11. So.
Well, that was the only time that worked for everything. So,
yeah.
But honestly, I love. Again, I'm just going to say this just for the record. Cathy Weseluck is one of the most incredible people you'll ever meet if you get a chance to meet her or talk to her.
Have you met me before?
Who the hell are you?
Your boyfriend?
What?
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
Spaghetti.
Thank God I saved that one for later. That'd been weird. And the thing, be like, "What are you, Saber?" Your boyfriend, Cathy, be like, "Just." Is this guy Italian?
I've got 13 minutes to order dinner.
Order right now. Well,
I'm going to do it while we're live streaming.
Do it. I want to hear it. You should have gotten Cathy to order it for you.
Oh! No, I'm not going to do it on the phone. I'm going to order it online.
You should have had Cathy order it for you online.
Cathy, I love that too, that she's just willing to just go into her character. She has so much fun with it. You know what she did too? She called up my student Joey, or I called and I handed the phone to her, and she goes, "Hi, is this Joey? This is Spike. I heard that you know a lot about memes. Can you explain something about memes to me?" Because I told her that Joey had done a presentation about memes. He's one of my speech students, and it was so funny because I took the phone back from her afterwards, and he goes, "Oh my God, did that just happen?" It was like the nicest thing in the world for her to do. It was my favorite moment, I think.
I secretly geek out. I mean, as much as I give Brony a hard time sometimes being like, "Y'all stop geeking out so much," act, it's the time and the place. But the fact that she just said Saberspark in Spike's voice, I go back to when I first became a Brony, and I was like enthralled with the fact of even like talking about a person like this. Or I remember the first time I ever talked to anybody from the show was Sibsy on Skype, and it was like 8 months ago or something. I freaked out when I not talked. I just typed to her. No, I spoke to her. I spoke to her because you were in Vancouver or something like that. And now.
Oh yeah. Because I put her on the phone with you.
Yeah. And then now she said my name with her Spike voice. I'm like, yeah, cool, that's awesome. In the back of my
head, spaghetti.
Dude, thanks, Cathy.
No, you know what? I heard Cathy. I didn't hear an F in there at all.
And then I had to compromise myself completely. I'm like, spaghetti.
You know, and actually, I haven't told this story
before. Can you talk to her
before.
and tell her that I'm not that big of a spaghetti guy?
You were fine. I asked her how it went. She said it went well, so don't worry about it.
She's like, tell that fat kid to stay away from me.
No. You need to get some confidence, man.
I lost it in the war.
Which war?
World War.
By the way, if you hear typing, this is.
I mean, it's weird because you were fine with her in person at Candlelight Gardens.
Yeah, I know.
When we were talking to her.
I know.
Maybe it was that there's like an audience as well, and
maybe the fact that it's like 11 p.m. It's been a crazy day.
Excuses what?
I just got laid off. I just got laid off again.
What?
Hey, I said off. I said off.
Yeah, but then you said you just got laid again.
I choked a midget.
What? That part threw me a little bit. I'm like, what are you even saying?
I know. I'm like,
you were trying to be goofy.
I was trying to be goofy and professional at the same time. That doesn't work for me. I can't be both at the same time. I'm like,
she called you a clown. Did you catch that?
Yeah, because she knew I was stupid. And
no, because you were being a clown.
I was like, because I'm like, yes, Cathy, tell me about choking midgets.
No.
In the back of my head, I'm like screaming. I'm like,
honestly, it went fine. It went fine. You just be. You're fine. Don't worry. I think I'm gonna make a ringtone out of the recording of this episode. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. And just make that into a ringtone when I get a phone call from you. Spaghetti, spaghetti. No, I didn't know what spaghetti meant in the internet sense until this week. Like I had to have it explained to me. Because I was watching some of the old the recordings from Miami, and but I didn't know what people were saying. Look at all this spaghetti in this panel.
I'm so funny in real life. I'm a funny guy, and then I'm like, yeah, spaghetti.
You were fine.
I'm gonna get some milk. I'll be right back. I said Lyra Bob Dylan, for Christ's sake.
Will you go get your milk?
Oh, fine.
Yeah, go get.
God. The
Anyway.
grown-ups are talking. Jeez. You were fine, man. You really weren't that bad, honestly.
I know. I'm just playing it up.
I understand. Like, okay, so here's a story I haven't told people before. You know the first, who the first member of the staff that I ever spoke with was?
Who?
It was Sibsy when she popped into the EQD chat one time, and I was geeking out. I was.
Cynthia's awesome. I've gotten used to her. I like talking to her.
Yeah, I know she's awesome, but like I was geeking out. And, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't like fangasming or whatever, but I was definitely excited, and I was like really riveted on my screen because I'm like, oh my god, Sibsy's actually in the chat. And one time, I think Daniel Ingram or somebody showed up, and I was like, okay, I got to think of a good question to ask. And it was once
bears.
when we started up our podcast and we started doing interviews. I was really, really excited about it and everything too. Of course, I'm always excited when we do one of these interviews, but it was then I was like, that's when I started actually talking to members of the staff or whatever. But yeah, the first time was Sissy.